We will update you as the story develops. Plus, the coronavirus whistleblower dead. How concerned should we be about the virus? And Bonnie's basketball with a big win against the George Washington Colonials Wednesday night. We give you a full update on Bonnie's basketball and more in sports. SBU-TV starts right now. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Roisin Coleman.
And I'm Teddy Caputo. Roisin, I'm so glad that you're back here with us this semester for our first broadcast.
Oh, Teddy, I'm so happy to be back as well. Thank you.
The one thing I'm not too glad about, though, is the weather out there this morning, because it's pretty dangerous, the roads out there.
Oh, yeah, I got my snow boots on, so I'm ready, Teddy. I'm ready.
So speaking of that, let's get right to it with the weather forecast. So today's weather forecast in Olean, New York has a high of 25 degrees with a wind chill of 16 degrees. Winds are coming from the northwest at 15 miles per hour. Snow showers will continue into the afternoon with at least 1 to 3 more inches of snow expected to fall. School closings in the area this morning include Salamanca City School District, Southern Tier Catholic Archbishop Walsh Academy in Olean, and New Life Christian School in Olean. Roads will remain icy for a majority of the day, so please be careful driving on the roads as you travel. Breaking news this morning, a car crash reported on St. Bonaventure's campus. The front end of the car is smashed, as you can see here on your screen. This morning, we're reaching out to state troopers to confirm the facts. Emergency response teams got to the scene around 11:30 a.m. Thursday morning. It happened on the west side of campus near townhouses. The driver has not been identified. Stay connected on our social media pages for the update.
More breaking news. 2,600 passengers trapped on the Diamond Princess off the coast of Japan. 61 passengers tested positive with the coronavirus. Japanese health officials say the passengers have to be quarantined before going on land. This ship is one of 3 stuck in the East China Sea. Another ship, the Westerdam, remains at sea after being turned away from Taiwan and Japan. Our Madeline Edwards got a local perspective on the coronavirus.
There are no confirmed cases of coronavirus in New York, but awareness is key, according to Dr. Kevin Watkins, Director of Public Health in Cattaraugus County.
Everyone should be aware of it, but I don't think that there's a need to panic at this particular time.
The link to the virus is people coming from Wuhan, China. Dr. Watkins says that he is directly notified of anyone entering Cattaraugus County from China, and they are properly tested for the virus before returning to the community. He told me there are specific plans for St. Bonaventure students. If there's any students that could be possibly infected with the coronavirus, they would be held in a room here on the first floor of Doyle Hall for 14 days. In our community, Bonaventure students visit China every summer. I spoke to director of the program, Dr. Case, to see if the virus will affect this year's travel.
I'm hopeful that we can get it addressed before we go, but if not, then I'm not going to put students in danger, needless dangers. That's not going to happen.
He continued to say this isn't the first time something like this has happened, and the program survived. He hopes the hysteria of the virus ends soon. I spoke to junior management major Jared Gates, who went to China last summer to get his reaction.
I think like everyone else, I was kind of alarmed and confused as to what it was.
He also said that once he did research, he relaxed when he learned that there were only 11 confirmed cases in the U.S. With SBU-TV, I'm Madeline Edwards. New, now,
Scientists are actively working on a vaccine for the virus.
Starting March 1st, all plastic carry-out bags will be banned from distribution by any business required to collect New York State sales tax. According to the Department of Environmental Conservation, the ban is an initiative to protect the environment and wildlife. Although the ban hasn't gone statewide yet, I took a trip to one company who's already started the plastic bag ban. Over 23 billion plastic bags are used in New York State every year. In order to bring that number down, Wegmans banned using plastic bags in their stores on January 27th, an entire month before the statewide ban goes into effect. On their website, Wegmans states that their early action is an effort to shift all customers into using reusable bags, an effort they've been working on since they introduced reusable bags in their stores in 2007. Here in the Jamestown Wegmans customers now have to bring in their own reusable bags like these ones, unless they want to pay the 5-cent paper bag fee. Even though Wegmans customers are getting used to the ban, many still forget to bring in their reusable bags. I asked several customers around the store if they like the plastic bag ban and how they've adjusted to it so far.
I didn't have to adjust because I've used plastic bags all along, so I think it's a wonderful idea.
Ours are all old. We need to get new ones.
I don't think I'll miss the plastic bags.
It's better for our earth and less plastic going into the landfill makes bringing groceries in the house much easier.
Undue burden on people like me who are old and forget stuff when they come into the store. So chances are, if I get something easy or simple, like a couple of things, I'm probably going to walk in the store with no bag. And then I'm going to be forced to pay 5 cents. Well, I don't know where that money goes, but I don't like it at all. Why are we the state that's doing it?
All the stores who charge the 5-cent paper bag fee will donate all that money to the local food bank serving their region. Wegmans recently released a company-wide survey that revealed 95% of their customers already own at least one reusable bag, and 87% own 3 or more reusable bags.
Now, an update on William J. Larson, the teen facing charges after the death of his parents in mid-November.
State police charged 17-year-old William J. Larson Jr. with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of manslaughter following the deaths of William and Lisa Larson in mid-November. During initial investigations, Larson admitted to killing his father. The court never posted bail, and according to the state police, Larson is still in custody at a detention facility for youth in Buffalo and will remain there until his next court date. This past Wednesday, a grand jury presentment took place at the Allegheny County Courthouse. Here, the court presented 16 members of a jury with evidence. Based on this evidence, they will vote whether or not to indict Larson. If they choose to do so, it will go to trial. The evidence includes Larson's subpoenaed mental health records from the Olean Counseling Center and measurements collected from the scene of the crime at Courtney Hollow Road in Clarksville. The jury's results will determine whether Larson will be indicted for murder and sent to trial or set free.
The court date where the jury's vote will be revealed is set for February 24th. We will bring you those updates here and on our social media in the coming weeks.
Growing coyote populations in New York State leading to more attacks. SBU-TV's Brendan O'Leary bites into the details.
Coyotes becoming an increasing problem throughout the country, causing trouble in populated areas 24/7, season round. A survey conducted by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources showed a steady increase in coyote population from 1990 to 2015.
Coyotes can be found all across the United States, from California to Massachusetts and everywhere in between, even in metro areas like New York City, Los Angeles, and Boston. That means that your small pets might just be their next meal.
While humans are still in danger, coyote attacks on people are rare. Most coyote attacks in suburban and urban areas happen to small dogs and cats. I spoke with Emma Smith, the owner of a miniature collie, about her fears over coyote attacks.
There was concern about the coyotes. We could hear them at night. We were pretty much convinced that that's how he was going to die, was he was going to go and fight and bark against a coyote.
The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation's operating procedures advises people to be aggressive when encountering a coyote, making themselves larger, and to supervise pets when outdoors. Fencing your yard could also deter coyotes from entering, as well as removing all brush and tall grass around your property. As coyotes are mainly nocturnal animals, owners should bring their pets inside once it gets dark. Brendan O'Leary, New Now Next, SBU-TV.
New York is one of the few states that does not have a year-round hunting season on coyotes, ending on March 29th. Now, I don't know about you, Roisin, but if I had my dog up here, I know that my dog smelling a coyote, it would not have a chance. So I'd be very careful about taking my dog out. Well, coming up, we have a Bonnie in the White House. We hear his perspective of President Donald Trump's impeachment process.
Plus, we look at the Bonnie's win this week. Stay with us.
Today, I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
President Trump celebrating his Senate acquittal at White House breakfast prayer, calling Democratic leaders vicious and mean. Nancy Pelosi possibly the cause after her ripping of the president's speech going viral on social media.
Or do I like people who say, I pray for you, when they know that that's not so?
The scandal of his pressure campaign in Ukraine, the basis for his impeachment, may be forgotten come November.
A St. Bonaventure alumni speaks out about the impeachment process and how this university prepared him in politics.
Over the past 2 years, Jeff Freeland has become a top aide for President Trump throughout his impeachment process. But it was
15 years ago, Jeff Freeland was sitting in rooms like this as a college Republican here at St. Bonaventure University. Now, he's applying for at Bonaventure in Washington, D.C.
I talked to Freeland about his time at Bonaventure and how it shaped him.
Sure, I started at Bonaventure. I got into politics very quickly when I got there. I got elected class president, lived in Devereaux, made a lot of friends very quick, and kind of learned the retail politics side. Just the shaking the hands, getting to meet everybody you possibly can, and really just turning out the vote. And that's really what it's about. Is really just being that voice for the people. And I learned that a lot at Bonaventure. I just learned a real good sense of community. How to really talk with people, learn what their opinions are and issues, and really kind of turn that into policy and how you enact it.
He also talked about what it's like to be involved in the impeachment process.
It's every day is very different. Every day you're kind of expecting. You're not sure what to expect. There's always a new curveball that comes at your way, and but we fought it. We fought it from the House, and we've seen really from day one. Republican unity, including, some Democrats even coming over and supporting us. And that's been really what I've worked on the most, is really just keeping the party unified, getting the message out that there was a perfect call, there was nothing there, and continue to really push that.
For SBU-TV, I'm Justin Myers. New, now, next.
Freeland expressed interest in becoming a New York representative after his time at the White House.
57 DWI arrests in 2019. That's according to the Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office. Now, 2 New York lawmakers pushing to lower the legal limit for drinking and driving. Aaron Lanahan spoke with police about what this could mean for you.
A .05 blood alcohol content, or BAC level, could soon be what gets you a DWI in New York State. The current legal limit is .08 BAC. New York Assemblyman Felix Ortiz and Senator John Liu are looking to lower the legal limit. I'm going to show you the difference between a .08 BAC and a .05 BAC. So these 4 beers here represent a .08 blood alcohol level, but 2 of the beers represent only a .05 blood alcohol level. But this can all vary depending on a person's size.
Guaranteed them from losing a job, losing their car, license.
Senior Chaz Schwenk reflects on how he knows 2 people affected from drinking and driving.
They were both bartenders, and one actually killed somebody, and the other just crashed his car, and luckily no injury on the second one.
Schwenk took away one message from these drunk driving cases.
It's definitely a clear message that you shouldn't do it. I mean, it could ruin your life.
I went down to the Olean Police Department to speak with Captain Mike Marsfelder about the signs of a drunk driver.
Not staying between the lines, not using their turn signals, speeding, or going too slow.
I asked Captain Marsfelder if he thinks the change would be beneficial.
Once you start feeling the effects of alcohol, okay, you're being affected by it. And I don't necessarily think 05 is a bad thing.
Here's a tip from Captain Marsfelder to avoid spending the night here.
Have a designated driver. That driver drinks no alcohol at all.
Aaron Lanahan, SBU-TV, New Now Next.
We reached out to Assemblyman Ortiz and Senator Liu, but they have no comment on the new law at this time. Up next, we're talking with a women's basketball player about the effect of basketball legend Kobe Bryant's death.
And we sit down with our own Bonnie basketball legend, Andrew Nicholson. Stay with us.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. The tragedy surrounding Kobe Bryant's death has caused a roar of emotion across the world. Family members, devoted fans, and teammates mourn the loss of this legend, along with senior captain Deja Logan on the women's basketball team here at St. Bonaventure. SBU-TV's Amanda Oliver discovered what exactly Kobe meant to Logan and her basketball career.
January 26, 2020 is a day that will forever be remembered as a tragedy, losing basketball legend Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, Gigi, along with 7 other victims in a helicopter crash. Senior Deja Logan had a personal connection to Kobe and his relationship with his daughter.
It mirrors my relationship with my father. You know, it's not the super typical, go to my dad for everything, talk to my dad about everything. Our relationship really is basketball. Like, all of my life lessons through basketball. And I love him for it.
Logan is continuing to work on her craft, being inspired by the mentality Bryant had left her. She said she wants to make every moment count, especially in these last few games, knowing that's what Kobe would have done.
His whole spiel and his whole mentality was something that I would kill to be like.
So from what I've learned, basketball isn't as simple as just putting this ball through this hoop. But to the people surrounding this sport and to the players, it's a lifestyle.
I also asked Logan what her thoughts were about Kobe being accused of sexual assault in 2003. She says she is a firm believer in consent and that this did alter her outlook on him. But she does admire the growth he has taken as a man, especially with his family. Logan's final words to Kobe and his legacy are,
Thank you for all that you've done for the game and for women and for basketball and for athletes, for young people, for older people. You're such an inspiration to everyone.
Bringing you new now next, I'm Amanda Oliver, SBU-TV.
As a basketball player growing up, I looked up to players like Kobe Bryant, and players like him had a huge impact on me wanting to play and continue playing. So this definitely has a huge impact, and on behalf of SBU-TV, we send our condolences to the families and friends of the 9 victims that lost their lives during this tragedy.
Bonaventure's food pantry is overflowing with donations. Since we brought you news of its opening in October, the pantry has seen over 91 visits. The program's director, Alice Miller Nation, says food insecurity in the Bonaventure community still exists. Many students and employees don't have access to a reliable food source. Alice says students make decisions on food spending based upon their values and priorities. She says students are too worried about paying tuition to afford food. The university costs around $34,000 to attend, a 3% increase from last year. Bonaventure provides an average of $30,000 to support on-campus students with living and tuition costs. Off-campus students are also eligible for housing and food aid. But how much? According to the university, that's a conversation between the student and the financial aid office. Alice hopes to implement budget and student debt education in the future. She says as long as there's need, the food pantry won't be going anywhere. We know you've been waiting for it. After the break, our exclusive interview with Bonnie basketball star Andrew Nicholson.
Plus, an update from sports, Bona swimming and rugby. Stick around.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
This new lung cancer screening could save your life. Visit SaveByTheScan.org.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
A familiar face caught the Bonnies' win over George Washington Wednesday night. Our own Rob Barbieri has the story on life after Bona's with Bonnies basketball great Andrew Nicholson.
Ball will take you all around the world. I've been to almost every continent now, thanks to basketball. It's just been a blessing.
He's back and getting buckets like he never left. A familiar face was in the RC Wednesday. Yes, you guessed it, Andrew Nicholson. But what has Andrew been up to since his days donning the brown and white?
The Orlando Magic select Andrew.
Since that moment in 2012 when he was selected 19th overall by the Orlando Magic, he spent 5 years in the NBA, 4 with the Magic and 1 with the Washington Wizards, also having a 10-game stint with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, Nicholson is getting his buckets in China, currently with the Chinese Basketball Association's Zhangzhou Lions. Here's what he has to say about his journey thus far.
My 5 years in the league was amazing. I did my thing. I had a great time. I definitely got what I wanted out of them. And then being able to have an opportunity to play over in China, just to see a different part of the world and a different style of basketball, and just continue to expand my game.
Andrew played in over 123 games for the Brown and White, scoring over 2,000 points, grabbing over 800 rebounds, and blocking over 200 shots. Not to mention, he brought the school's first A-10 championship, along with its first selection into the NCAA tournament since 2000. Andrew started the golden era for Bonnie's basketball. Not bad for a kid from Mississauga, Ontario. For SBU-TV, I'm Robert Barbieri.
Nicholson was named to the all-time 100-season team for the Bonnies and was named the second best player in school history, behind fellow big man Bob Lanier.
Now over to sports with Ryan McSpennon.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the first episode of SBU-TV Sports for the spring semester. I'm your host and new sports director, Ryan McSpennon. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump right into it. First, we're going to tip off with some basketball, and then head to the pool for some swimming.
Bonnies conquer the Colonials. In a blowout victory that saw 4 Bonnies in double figures, Jaron English delivered the best performance of his Bonnies career, posting a game-high 21 points, 6 rebounds, and sinking 3 of 4 shots from beyond the arc. Oshun posted 16 points and 7 rebounds. The Bonnies moved to 15-8 overall and 7-3 in the A-10. The Bonnies' next game is at Duquesne on Saturday.
During the St. Bonaventure Senior Meet, Junior Michael Bruno qualified on the 1-meter diving board for the NCAA Zone Diving Qualification events.
To qualify for zones, a diver needs to either score 300 points on the 1-meter diving board or 320 points on the 3-meter diving board.
In diving, points are awarded depending on the type of dive, the difficulty of it, as well as other factors like performance and distance from the diving board. In his last home meet of the season, Bruno scored a 301.45 on the 1-meter diving board.
That's been something I've been working up to and building up to with kind of my dives and my degree of difficulty and kind of building that up.
Zones will be held at West Virginia University, and the best divers from the Northeast will compete to earn a spot at the NCAA Championships. His coach, Stephanie Fleming, has known him since before he committed.
He's grown tremendously, and a lot of that is because of how much effort and that he puts into it, and his work ethic and dedication and passion.
Bruno won't let his accomplishment overshadow how he started.
I came in feeling like I had something to prove, and I feel like I'm doing just that to not only myself, but to my teammates, my family, my friends.
Bruno sees zones as not only a chance to compete, but also as a chance to better himself.
That's only going to make my diving at conference next year that much better.
I'm Zachary Murphy with SBU-TV, New Now Next.
The Bonnies have signed a partnership agreement with Rugby ATL, the Major League Rugby franchise based in Atlanta. Former SBU rugby star Kevin McCory is Vice President of Operations for Rugby ATL. The partnership will enable SBU-TV to take advantage of Rugby ATL's expertise in player and coaching development. It allows both organizations to share their knowledge on physical development. Rugby ATL will also provide the Bonnies opportunities for summer internships and professional development. Former SBU star Eamon Matthews signed with Rugby ATL in November.
Lastly, the Bonnies men's club hockey team travels to Westchester, Pennsylvania for the first ever Federation Cup. The Bonnies finished 13-4 in the North region. That's good for second place in the region. The tournament runs from March 10th to the 15th. That's all the time we have today for SBU-TV Sports. Sending it back over to you guys.
Thanks, Ryan, and thank you for tuning in this morning.
And before you go, check your screen. You can follow our social media pages to stay up to date with all things SBU-TV.
We'll see you here next Friday at 10 a.m. I'm Roisin Coleman.
And I'm Teddy Caputo. Have a wonderful weekend.